Hi, welcome to Meg Carton Yoga. I am Meg Carton, and I will be guiding you through a Vata pacifying yoga practice today. So, Vata is one of the doshas in Ayurveda, one of the body constitutions, um, and it's governed by air and ether. So, the qualities of Vata are light, mobile, dry, cold, rough, and subtle. So, we'll be balancing out those qualities today on our practice. We'll be focusing on a slow, grounding, warming, soothing, and calming practice. So, I hope you enjoy. Be sure to have one or two blocks available, a strap, and for Shavasana, an eye pillow is always nice, and a blanket. Because of the coldness of Vata, we want to make sure we stay warm at the end of our Vata practice today. So I'll be moving back onto my mat, and please go ahead and join me on your mat. We'll start comfortably seated, feeling free to prop your hips up on a bolster or a blanket. I think I'll prop my hips up, like opening up the front of the thighs here, opening up the pelvic area, which is the seat of Vata. We want to be able to bring that breath in and down into our pelvis, really nourishing this area today. Grounding down into the lower limbs, just bringing that energy in and down and calming. Vata's mind has a tendency to go up and out and all over the place. So we're going to ground our bodies, ground our minds, and just come back into ourselves today. Vata is incredibly creative, which is wonderful, but also has a tendency to get a little carried away in a project over here and a project over there, and a lack of focus. So Vata really needs to have a grounding and focused practice. So we'll begin by sitting up nice and tall, grounding through the seat bones, opening up the shoulders, opening up the chest, relaxing the shoulders down and back, and allowing the eyes to fall closed. And we'll just begin breathing deeply, inhaling in and down, and exhaling upward and outward. Inhaling into the low abdomen, and exhaling up and out. Feeling the energy come in and grounding down. Feeling the mind turning inward. Feeling the body getting heavy. Just feeling everything relax. Maintaining the focus on the breath throughout the practice. We'll take our bolster aside, coming onto hands and knees. We'll begin with a few cat-cows, warming up the spine, warming up the body. Hands underneath the shoulders and knees underneath the hips. Inhaling as the belly drops, the head looks up, and the tailbone goes up towards the sky. And as you slowly exhale, the head drops and the tailbone drops. Inhaling again, head looking up, tailbone up, belly dropping down. Exhaling as the back rises, the belly empties, head drops down, tailbone comes down. Inhaling, looking up. Exhaling, looking down. Bringing a stretch into the upper back here. Just taking a moment to move around. Beginning to make circles with the rib cage. Again, inhaling as the belly goes down and exhaling as it comes up. Just coming from side to side. Finding space here. And switching directions. Bringing some nourishment into the spine. Really lubricating all parts of the body. The dryness of Vata can dry out the joints. So getting that spinal fluid moving. And then coming back onto your heels, extending the arms out ahead for a child's pose. And just feeling the body getting heavy. Feeling the bones grounding into the earth. And coming back up onto hands and knees. We'll start doing some hip rotations here, taking the knee out and just making circles with the hips. And there's no right or wrong way to do this. Vata can have a tendency to be a little insecure, question whether or not they're doing things correctly, question ourselves, and just know that if you're here today doing this practice, that you're doing it right. Slow, steady, calm, and just tuning into your inner awareness, your inner wisdom. Switching legs, starting to make circles with the opposite knee. So Vata governs all movement of the body. So by slowly opening up all the joints, we lubricate the joints and therefore avoid injury, but also just energetically open everything up for the prana, the life force, to flow evenly throughout the entire body. Coming back onto the heels for a moment here. Bringing your hands down to the bottom of your feet. Just giving your feet a nice rub here. Bringing that energy all the way down to our wonderful feet, which ground us into the earth. Showing them some love and nourishment. Keeping the breath steady. Keeping the mind calm and focused. Coming back onto hands and knees, pushing the hips up into a downward facing dog. Grounding through the hands, grounding through the feet. Just walking the legs out here. Bending one knee and then the other. Deep, slow, even breaths. Relaxing the neck. And then coming into stillness. Feeling the heels reaching towards the floor. Feeling the chest reaching towards the floor. Feeling the breath deep, slow, and nourishing. And then slowly beginning to walk your feet up towards your hands. Taking your elbows in each hand and just moving from side to side. Linking your movement with your breath. Steady rhythmic movements here. And releasing the hands down and rolling up slowly, one vertebra at a time. And spreading the feet about hips width apart here. Rolling the shoulders back a few times. Rolling the neck forward a few times. Really feeling the weight grounding into the feet. Energetically feeling everything come down. Breathing into the low abdomen. And exhaling up and out. And now just taking your arms and starting to swing from side to side. Looking behind you as you do so. Just letting your arms kind of flap against your back. Feeling some joy in this movement. Feeling some release. Twisting from the waist. Watching out for the knees, not twisting from the knees. And then slowly coming back to stillness. And then coming to the top of our mats. We'll begin a few rounds of Surya Namaskar, sun salutations. Slow and steady, linking the breath with the movements of the body, keeping the mind focused on the breath and the body, keeping your mind present in your practice today. Inhale, exhale, palms of the hands come together at heart center. Inhaling the arms up and reaching back. Exhale, slowly come forward and down, palms of the hands reaching for the ground. Inhale as the right leg comes back, knee comes to the ground, and looking up. Retaining your breath, left leg comes back to meet right. Exhale as your knees, chest, and forehead come down to the ground. Inhale into a cobra. Exhale into a downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg forward between the hands. Exhale the left knee down. Inhale as you look up. Exhale as the left leg comes forward. Inhale the hands forward, up, and back. Exhale and slowly release. Inhale, exhale, palms of the hands together. Inhale the arms up and back. Exhale, reaching forward and down. Inhaling the left leg back, knee to the ground, looking up. Retaining your breath as the right leg comes back. Exhale, knees, chest, and forehead drop down. Inhale into cobra. Exhale to downward facing dog. Inhaling the left leg forward, right knee comes down. Exhale, reaching the right leg forward to meet the left. Inhale, stretching the arms forward, up and back. Exhale, releasing the arms down by your sides. For the second round on side one, the right side, inhale, exhale, palms come together. Inhale, stretching up and back. Exhale, reaching forward and down. Inhaling the right leg back, knee to the ground as you look up. Retaining your breath as your left leg comes back to meet the right. Exhale, your knees, chest, and forehead to the ground. Inhaling into cobra. Exhale into downward facing dog. Inhaling the right leg forward and up. Exhale the left leg to meet the right. Inhale, stretching the arms up, reaching back, and releasing the arms down by your sides. For the second round on the left side, inhale, exhale, palms of the hands come together at heart center. Inhale the arms up and back. Exhale, reaching forward and down. Inhale the left leg back, looking up. Retain your breath, right leg comes back. Exhale, knees, chest, forehead to the ground. Inhaling into cobra. Exhale into downward dog. Inhale the left leg forward. Exhale the right leg forward. Inhale, reaching forward, up and back, and releasing the hands down by the sides. Coming into Tadasana, mountain pose, bringing the feet together parallel to one another, feeling the feet grounding into the earth, rooting into the earth, pressing into the outer edges of the feet, feeling space between the legs, feeling the muscles of the legs engage, breathing deep down into the lower pelvis, feeling space in the hips and the pelvic cavity, drawing the tailbone down, feeling the pelvic floor relax and release, engaging the glutes and the abdominal muscles, feeling the stomach drawing in, feeling length up through the sides of the body, rolling the shoulders back and down, feeling the shoulder blades resting on the back of the rib cage. The arms fall long and strong by the sides. Your hands feel heavy. Your spine is long, extending all the way from the tip of the tailbone up through the back of the neck, out the crown of the head. Allow your eyes to fall closed, feeling the body slowing down, feeling the mind being present. Allow the face to smile. Bringing the palms of the hands together at heart center. Just taking this moment to bring compassion to yourself. Bowing the head down. Releasing the hands and stepping to the top of the mat. We'll go through Warrior 1 and Warrior 2 now. Because Vata has that tendency to want to be very mobile and not stable, we are going to come into this pose with a little movement and then slowly come to stillness. And we're going to keep our hands grounded at our hearts or at our hips to keep that energy flowing down into our bodies, down to our lower limbs, energetically just relaxing. So grounding through the left foot, stepping back with the right. Legs can be spread apart, so you can square your hips off to the front of the mat. Left hip comes back, right hip comes forward. Dropping the tailbone down, lengthening the spine, finding a steady drishti, a steady gaze, soft and gentle. Inhale deeply, exhale, bending the left knee. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bending down. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bending down. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bending the left knee down and holding. Pushing forward with the left foot, pushing back with the right foot. Finding space through the side body, length through the body. Feeling the legs heating up, feeling the energy grounding down. We'll hold for 5 breaths. Bringing the palms of the hands together at heart center, opening the hips to the side of the mat. Inhaling the arms up, around and down to the hips, dropping the tailbone, lengthening the spine, hinging forward from the hips here. And just letting the hips flow from side to side. Feeling the hips move like the waves of the ocean. Just feeling the water going from left to right, right to left. Feeling space opening up here. Releasing any tension, moving that energy downward. Finding stillness in the hips. Hands come back to the hips and coming back up. Turning the left toes out and keeping the right foot parallel with the back edge of the mat. Keeping the hips squared off with the front edge of the mat. Inhale and exhale, finding length in the spine. And exhale as you bend your left knee down. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, bending the left knee down. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, bending that left knee down. I like to keep my hands on my hips here, drawing that right hip back. Sometimes taking my left hand to press on the inside of that left knee to draw it out rather than having it fall inward. Keeping the knee drawing out prevents injury to that knee. So pushing through the outer edge of the right foot, lengthening that leg, finding strength in those muscles. Pushing through that left foot, grounding down into the legs, rooting into the feet. And we'll hold here for 5 breaths. Inhale and straighten the left knee. Heel toe the feet towards one another slightly. Pointing the feet out just a little bit. Dropping the tailbone down and bending the knees into goddess legs here. And going from side to side. Finding some suppleness in the hips. Feeling that tension slowly releasing. Bringing the arms up into cactus arms. Keeping the knees pulling away from each other, pulling to the outside. Lifting the inside arches of the feet. And inhale the heart up towards the sky gently. Sending compassion and love outward. Slowly straightening the legs, straightening the arms, bringing the hands together overhead, and bringing that love and compassion back inward, back into your own heart. And turning to the other side of the mat, taking the left foot back, spreading the legs enough to square the hips off to the short edge of the mat here. Dropping the tailbone down, finding length in the low back. Breathing into the pelvis. Filling the ribs completely. Filling the lungs completely on the inhalations. And exhaling completely on the exhalations. Grounding through the feet. Engaging the muscles of the legs. On an exhale, we begin to bend the front knee. Inhale and straighten. Exhale, bending. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, bend and hold. Grounding into the feet, drawing them away from each other. Keeping the left hip drawing forward, the right hip drawing back. Bringing the palms of the hands to heart center if you'd like, or keeping them at your hips. Finding a steady drishti, a steady gazing point. Relaxing and focusing the mind. And holding for 5 breaths. Relaxing the jaw, relaxing the shoulders, feeling everything just very heavy. Inhale, straightening that front leg, turn to the long edge of the mat. Dropping your hands down as you reach down, or wide leg forward fold. Again, moving the hips from side to side here. Feeling as though there's water in your hips. Your hips are a bowl full of water, and the momentum of the water is just bringing the hips from one side to the other. And then coming back to stillness, bringing the hands to the hips, coming up with a flat back. Keeping the left foot parallel with the short edge of the mat. Pointing the right foot, drawing that left hip back, squaring the hips off with the long edge of the mat. Finding length through the back, openness in the pelvis, and exhale, bending that right knee. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend, and hold. The left hip draws back. The right knee draws out. Gazing up and over the right knee. Gazing steady and soft. And holding for 5 breaths. Feeling the tailbone heavy here. Feeling the bum heavy here. Feeling the bum kind of grounding your legs down. Almost like the weight of that bum is pushing your legs down and creating heat through those low limbs. And on an inhale, straighten. Heel toe both of the feet inward towards one another. Reach down for your ankles, bend one knee and then the other knee. Feeling a nice movement in the hips here. A little bit different sensation, different area than when we do the wide leg forward fold. And then releasing the hands and slowly rolling up one vertebra at a time. And coming into tree pose here, we'll ground through the left foot, rooting through the left foot, feeling the muscles coming up through that left leg. Again, feeling that bum kind of heavy, grounding down. You can take your left hand to your lower left back, and it kind of roots everything down. Taking the right foot either to the left ankle, the left calf, or all the way up to the left inner thigh, pushing the left thigh into the right foot, and finding a steady drishti, a steady gaze. Soft, steady gaze. Soft, steady mind. And Vata in the body, again governed by air, which has a quality of movement. Vata wants to move. So this pose can be quite challenging for Vata, the stillness. So breathing deep, grounding down, slowly coming to stillness. And release. And grounding through that right foot, rooting through the entire foot, feeling that foot supporting the body. And again, the muscles of the legs engaging, feeling strong, like the trunk of a tree. And taking that left foot up to the right ankle, the right calf, or all the way up to the right inner thigh. Foot presses into the thigh as the thigh presses back into the foot. And taking those hands to the low back, feeling space in the low back. You can draw the elbows together here, opening up the chest, keeping the tailbone drawing down. Finding a steady drishti. And allowing the steadiness of the gaze, bring steadiness to the mind, bring steadiness to the body. Feeling the breath circulate in and down, down through the lower limbs. And coming back up and out on the exhalations. In and down, up and out. And releasing the left foot. Shaking out the legs here. Rotating the wrists around. And coming down into a squat. Malasana. I like to move my knees from side to side here a little bit. Taking some time before coming into steadiness. Allowing Vata to have that little bit of mobility. And then slowly coming to steadiness. If this is comfortable for you, that's great. Something else that can be really nice for grounding is taking your blocks here. One under each bum bone, whatever height works for you. Coming onto the blocks and seating, and this really can give you some freedom to open up the inner thighs here. So that's a great option. I think I'll go without the blocks today. Sometimes I do like to just use those blocks and focus on that. I have a lot of energy that gets stuck in here, so opening up those inner thighs is really key for me. Okay, and then coming into the grounded steadiness of Malasana. That's what we're looking for here. Grounding the energy down into the pelvic cavity. Feeling the breath coming all the way down. Feeling the pelvic floor open and release. So inhale the breath down into the pelvis. And on your exhales, imagine the breath releasing down through the pelvic floor. Inhale down, exhale, release. Inhale inward and downward. Exhale, releasing down. One more time. Inhaling down and exhaling down and out. We're bringing the hands down and bring the seat onto the floor. Hugging the legs in here. Just drawing the spine up, grounding through each seat bone. And then taking the right leg in front of you, taking the left leg up and over. Sitting up nice and tall, feeling both seat bones here, feeling space in the low back. Inhaling the right arm up, exhaling and reaching over to the left. The left hand comes behind you. Inhale and stretch up, and exhale, twisting around. Again, inhale, stretching up, and exhale, twisting around. Focusing on the breath. Feeling the seat bones grounding into the floor. And coming back to center, switching the legs. The left leg crosses down, right leg crosses up and over. Again, grounding through both seat bones here, finding evenness on both sides. Inhaling the left arm up, exhaling, twisting down and around. The left arm comes to the outside of the right leg as the body twists around to the right. Right arm is behind you. Inhale to extend. Exhale to twist a little deeper. Inhale, extending. Exhale and twisting. Squeezing any stuck energy, any toxicity out of the spine here. Just squeezing that stagnant air out, out, out. And release, coming back around. Another place Vata can get stuck is in the outer thighs. So we'll come into cow face pose here, which is not necessarily accessible to everybody, especially if you do have a lot of Vata accumulated in those outer hips. So a nice option for this is to go it reclined, coming onto your back, taking the outer edge of each foot. And here you have a reclined cow face pose. You can kind of roll back and forth in that and, see where you have stuckness. And see if you can just kind of roll it out. And if the seated position is open to you, go ahead and take a seat. If you'd like to take a block, we'll sit up and then stretch forward, bringing the forehead down to the block. Relaxing the arms down and just allowing gravity to pull everything in and down to steadiness. And we're just going to sit here for a few moments, keeping the mind focusing inward, feeling the bones heavy and grounding down, feeling the muscles melting and releasing. I invite you to just relax and tune into your own body here. Getting to deepen the breath a little bit. Starting to sit back up. Sitting all the way up. Feeling that grounding energy coming into the seat bones. Uncrossing the legs here and crossing in the other direction. So the right leg crosses down in front of you, the left leg comes up and over. I definitely have a little more stuck energy on this left side than on my right. And if you're reclined, you're just sitting back up and switching the legs over as well. So rocking around here, loosening things up. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, fold forward. Really feeling the body warming up in this pose. Warming up and grounding down. Breathing into the tension. Releasing the jaw, releasing the tongue. Keeping the mind focused on the body. Enjoying the space this pose provides for the low back. Starting to roll the head from side to side. Deepening the breath a little bit and starting to sit back up. Taking a nice long inhale, followed by a nice complete exhalation. Setting the blocks over to the side. Uncoiling the legs here. And we're going to lay down and come into a reclined twist, and then we'll be preparing for Shavasana. So make sure you have a blanket and perhaps an eye pillow. If you have something like a bolster or a sandbag to put on your abdomen, that's a really great way to really allow the body to feel grounded. So just a warm, long Shavasana is what we're going for. But first we'll just roll back. Bringing both legs into the chest. Extending the left leg out. Taking that right leg and rolling over to the left side. Opening the right arm out beside you. Looking over to the right. Again, feeling the space in the low back here. Squeezing any stuck energy. out with these nice twists, nice gentle twist here. Coming back onto the back, drawing both legs in, extending the right leg down, drawing that left leg over to the right side of the body, looking over to the left. And then rolling back, stretching both legs out in front of you, allowing your feet to fall apart, and making sure you have a blanket or anything that you need for a nice comfortable Shavasana. Legs fall apart, arms are laying down by the side of the body, palms of the hands are facing the sky. Thank yourself for slowing down today, grounding the body, regulating the prana, regulating the life force, focusing the mind, and reminding yourself that you have everything you need within. You have the inner wisdom. Just reassure yourself, Vata. Sometimes you need that. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.